got some new stickers arrived for the Merlot, Project Merlot. So I'm going to get them put on this afternoon, see what it looks like, because it's pretty much done then. So we have a main tank and a spare fuel tank. I ordered diesel yesterday for the main tank because that was empty. And now they've just told me that the spare tank's empty as well, which apparently was empty yesterday morning. So instead of me ordering 10,000 litres of diesel, I've only ordered 5. And also now we're waiting for diesel if it's on the red. Hopefully the extra spare fuel tank's got some left in it, so we can keep everything going. All 3 tanks are empty, but luckily the Bowser's got some in. Bowser's full, so we'll have to use that to fill everything up. Good news for a Friday. 5 load of beans have gone. 3 went a while ago, and we look like we've still got 1 left. So we weren't sure how much moisture loss we had at drying, so we weighed them all in wet, dried them, and we didn't want to overcommit. Anyway, we've definitely got another load left, so I'm going to sell that now. Unfortunately, the price has dropped a little bit, but it's nice to have another load in the shed that you didn't know about. So happy days. Taking this apart now to see what's going on inside, see if them plastic rings are right. It's going to the part number they're supposed to be. So we just need to work out how it's slid together, basically. So I'm going to take these Allen keys off. Hopefully that'll lift off and leave that burning behind, because we've already just put that on. 6 Allen keys come out, but then there's always one that won't come out and spun in the hole. Fast track's out with a load of chip and the diesel's just arrived. That's rounded off now, so we hammered that into it, and now that's chewed it off as well. I'm gonna have to drill it now and put a stud extractor in. It took me like 30 seconds to undo all them, and now it's going to take me half an hour to get this out. Gonna glue that in there Varaldite, leave it 10 minutes and try that. I've drilled that out now, not this in. This slides on and you twist it with a 16mm socket, but it's twisted nearly halfway round without undoing it. So I'm gonna have to heat it up. I can't use my induction tool because there's nothing to wrap it round, so I'll have to use the blowtorch and hope we don't melt that. Oh well, it's moving now. The blow lamp's slacking it off, so I can take it out. Another load of fertilizer being delivered, double 7C. I needed a little bit more fertilizer from the wheat, so I didn't need a full tanker. So I bought a full tanker full of a different product, what we call the 1717, which is what we use to sort of like the start of the first dose next year. So it means that it's 1, it's cheaper, and 2, I'm not sort of like paying a cap load charge for it not being full. So the last dose that we'll do on the barley, we'll make up with sort of that, but at twice the rate, so that it's equivalent to N30. Well, it won't be twice the rate, but like 2 and a bit more. And then that'll give us the same amount of product. And it means I've not got a tank full of expensive fert sat there waiting for next February. And I've not paid a cap load charge by running the tanker half empty. So that's just going in there now. Finish on the N30, then we'll go on to the N17. This is doing my head in, because they're dead tight to get off. You have to hammer them all the way. We've tried soap, jet washer fluid, oil, everything, but inside them plastic rings is bits of dust, so whatever you put on it, when you start to move it, it just turns to like a grinding paste and stops them dead. Anyway, we've realised that there's a couple of these that are damaged as well, more than we thought. So I bought 7 new ones because they're like £130 each, but I actually need another 2. Now they sent one wrong, it was too small, this little one here. So I rung them up to say, can you make sure you can get me the right one, because the one you've sent is too small. And I said, at the same time, can you please send me another 2? Like, I'm trying to clean the lens. Like the other 2 I've got, because I want to change an extra 2. And they went, oh, you'll have to pay carriage now. Like, but you're sending something anyway. Yeah, but they'll charge you carriage. I was like, that's not honour. You know, I've waited for your bits to come. They've come wrong. I've now got to wait again. And they still might come wrong, because that part number could be wrong on their system. And then you want to charge me carriage because I want to add a little bit extra to the order. I mean, come on, give us a break. I mean, if you're going to charge me carriage, that's fine, but I won't ever buy anything on Amazon again. So anyway, I've rung them up and told them this, so we'll just see what comes. Anyway, they're supposed to be ringing me back to tell me. Another thing I've been doing today is, obviously the new drill is supposed to be coming next week. Not just sure what day yet. It was supposed to be Monday, but I needed to pay for it. Normally they just send it and then you get an invoice. But something's not quite ready on it, I don't think, like the PDI and things, but also I need to sort the paperwork out for it, because I need to make sure I've got the VAT back, and just get a grant towards some of it, and that has to be done before the end of May. So I actually had to sort of get all the paperwork sorted. So I've been messing around doing that and making sure I've got enough money in to sort that out as well. So I've been messing around on the computer in the office for ages, working things out. So hopefully sometime next week it's coming. It might be Monday, I don't know. It just depends. I've been waiting for them to ring me back with some figures. This was yesterday's quiz question. It is, in fact, some people got it right. It's a 2-stroke oil mixing bottle. So what you do is you open the little bit on the top, and if you squeeze the bottle, it goes up the tube and then starts to fill the little bottle. Once you get it to the right mixture that you need, see it says on there for 5 litres of fuel or 2.5 litres of fuel, at whatever percentage it should be, or mils at the back, you then open the cap and tip it out, and then that's the correct measurement. So you can use it for, like I say, 2-stroke oil, but I have seen it used for mixing other things as well, but I can't remember what it was, but it's quite handy. Also as well, there's been a bit of a viral post going around on Facebook about a farmer ranting about cyclists. Now, I'm not really that bothered by them, because they don't really hold us up much, but when they do hold tractors up, it's dangerous, because when a tractor slows down following a cyclist, all the cars that come up behind the tractor are just determined to get past. Now, the safe gap for us to overtake a bike is a larger gap needed than a car, because we can't overtake with the acceleration of a car. So we'll be stuck behind a bike that we just can't pass when cars think it's safe. So cars will zoom past us and not realise there's a bike in front, and then go to pull in when there's a cyclist there. So we end up anchoring on then to give them a safe gap. This normally happens when there's a queue of, I don't know, 3 or 4 cars, and they're all nipping past, and then another car starts to come, and the last car thinks, well, I'll get past in time. Well, he can't, because there's a bike or there's 2 bikes in front of him when he cuts in. So I sort of put something on Twitter this morning saying, look, if you're a cyclist, if you're in a restaurant and there's someone walking towards you with a plate full of someone else's dinner, and you're walking to the toilet, they're working, you're not. So you're just like, oh, go on, off you go. You give way to them, you step to the side, let them go through. Well, if you're a cyclist, or whatever you want to call it, a lycra-clad cyclist, and there's a tractor coming, or there's a tractor behind you, 90% of the time, I would say, you're out there just enjoying yourself, and you're doing it as a leisure activity. 99% of the time, that tractor is at work, they're doing a job, and they're often racing against a weather window. Whether that be, it's going to get windy in a bit and they need to get on, whether it's going to rain and they've got loads of straw on the floor, they're carting grain because it's the first day they've been able to get out for days, they're trying to work round. You know, we are predominantly always in a hurry. So for your safety, if you've got a tractor behind you, just slow down a little bit and move to the side and let us pass. We're not telling you to stop, but if you go along at your sort of 16 mile an hour and we're down to 16 mile an hour, you're going to end up in a dangerous situation, because you're going to have cars whizzing past us not knowing you're there. So lots of cyclists are getting on a high horse going, oh, we've got as much right to be on the road as everybody else, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's fine, but if you get flattened by freaking Dave in his Focus ST because he thinks he can get past at the same time as everybody else, then that is why. So just think about that when you're out on your bike anyway. I'm not bothered. Do what you want. Doesn't matter if you hold me up a little bit. I'm a little bit like, oh, I need to get on, really. But it's your safety, not ours. Because if a car cuts in and hits us, it'll just flip on its roof. I've seen it happen. If a car comes in and hits you, you go over his roof. So just think about that anyway. So that's a little bit of a rant from Ollie anyway, but that's just what it's all about on Twitter and Facebook last night. Here's a quiz question for you. What are them 2 fittings for on the front of the trailer? All 3 of them, we've got them on as well. Shed update. Brickwork footing is now dug out for the external brickwork, so it blends in with the rest of the buildings and what used to be here to start with. They've managed to dig through the water pipe, despite the water pipe only being put in a month ago, so 2 months ago, so I don't know how they forgot where it was. Luckily the electric cable is still intact and the tape's gone off it for some reason. So this has all been dug out. The doors are now on. I'll come round and have a look at the doors. Project shed update. Doors are on. We've managed to solve the problem. Like I say, we re-drill this in the other plane so that we could put them on and not have to cut the frames down for when the external brickwork's gone. But it's actually worked out really well. And when they open, because they kick in, they could actually open sort of that wide without hitting the brickwork. And also, if we wanted, we could wind the doors more that way. It narrows the opening slightly, but then it also means that the door opens even wider again. So that's something that we're gonna do now. I'm just gonna make a draw bolt for it. So I've got an old drawbar pin. This is one that Glenn Wright, who taught me to weld, made years ago. I think we welded the washers on. Piece of plate and this tube. I'm gonna weld that onto there now. So that'll go into the concrete and slide down. But then when we're opening the door, it lifts up and twists and locks onto there. That plate's welded on now, pins on, drops down, drill hole in the concrete, lifts up, latches, perfect. And that was made out of a piece of scrap, and that was the only piece of steel we had up here, but it happened to be exactly the right length. So hopefully on Monday, we'll either mix some concrete or we'll get some off the volumetrics wagon. And then that's all ready then to start putting the external brickwork up. The doors, obviously that's turned out all right in the end after yesterday's hassle. But yeah, it's coming to taking shape, and then hopefully it'll start to blend in with the old ones of how it used to look. That's about it for today now. Lads are chipping. It's about 7 o'clock. I'll get this edited and uploaded so you've all just enjoyed it, obviously. I think you can click there to subscribe, click here to see another video, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. I never got the stickers on the Merlot actually. Didn't get a chance today, but we'll do that tomorrow. And there's an outro from Lewis. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.